here today talking with Michelle Louise about her book, The Good News for Anyone Who Wants to Hear It. Thank you for taking time to join us today, Michelle.
Thank you for having me, Scott.
Let's start, just kind of share a little bit about your book with us and talk us through that.
Um, it was called The Good News. People ask me why did I put that subtitle for anyone who wants to read it. What I have learned in telling stories and stuff, people don't want to hear the good news. Sometimes they might be a little negative when it comes to certain things, and they're like, "Well, what good news is there?" So that was kind of a play on words that it just kind of went along with the title. But originally, it was just the good news, and that's really all I talk about through the whole thing is the good news.
So, yeah, when you talk about your book and you think about your book, what was the inspiration behind it, or kind of share a little bit of the process even of writing this book for you?
I have never been interested in writing a book. Was not on my radar. I in the profession I'm in, I've been in this profession for 25 years. I've climbed my way to the top. I'm trying to do things that women don't get the opportunity to do in my industry. But I've been very blessed with that. So because of that, I never really wanted to write a book. It was never an inspiration to me. What really got me to sit down and say there's something I need to tell people was during a time in my life where I had really lost hope in life. I didn't know what to do. I was fearful. I really didn't know how I was going to make it out of some certain situations. And when my life had changed, that's what I wanted to write about because I felt like I had obtained it's not a secret, but I feel like to a lot of people it is because they don't understand where the good news can come from. And for me, when I developed that relationship with Jesus, which I've been a Christian my whole life, but when I really said, I'm dedicating my life to you, it changed all of my circumstances. So it went from bleak to joy, peace, understanding of what's going on, realizing that no matter what I'm going through, he's always there. He's always going to be there to guide me through things. And I even say this in my book, that I feel like he says, I got you. And that's how I feel. And when that started happening, I was like, people need to understand what a relationship with God can do for them. I had started traveling for work, and I ran into a lot of people that I actually shared my testimony with. Somehow I would witness something they did or said that would spark something that was a story that I had to tell. And when I started talking to these people, that no matter what they're going through, it would give them hope, and they would be like, I'm so glad I met you. I'm so glad I was able to talk to you about this, because now I feel like, I do have hope. I can see light at the end of the tunnel. And when that started happening, I really just started jotting these things down. And I wrote the book in about 5 days, the majority of it.
Wow.
It was something I had to tell people. And I know it was a God thing because it just flowed so quickly. Now, it did take me a long time to publish it, just kind of waiting around, sitting on it a little bit, wondering, should I or shouldn't I? Because there is a lot in that book that's very personal, a lot of things people don't want to talk about, a lot of things that are risque subjects. But I said it was either all or nothing, and I went for it, and it just kind of wrote itself. And I tweaked it along the way, and sat down, kind of added a little bit here and there, and hence the good news just flowed out, and there you go.
So I hear you saying hope a lot. Would you say that's kind of the purpose and the thought behind this is to just bring that message of hope to show people that there is hope no matter what they faced and what they're going through, and to use your life as an example.
Right. I have come across, so my book's been out for a little bit now, and there have been those that have read it, and the feedback I get is, I'm going through something similar. I didn't know how I was going to face certain things, and you did give me hope. You did some things that I applied to my own life that helped. So that's the feedback that I'm getting. But for me, hearing these stories about, it could be women or men. I really started writing the book for women because my experiences are as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And as I started reading or writing more and more, I realized men could really get a good deal of knowledge about women and relationships, because this all centers around relationships and things that happen in our everyday life. And to give hope to somebody, there's not much good news out there these days. And for me, the good news, no matter what's going on in the world, doesn't really affect me, because my joy and peace does not come from anyone else other than the love of Jesus. And when you realize that, it's like a light bulb. It's like I had one guy ask me, he said, "What are you doing? When I look at you, I see a light like shining." And that's really how I want to be seen from everyone. I want to share that light. And so, yes, hopefully that will give them hope and let them determine for themselves how to maintain and keep that peace, because it all centers around a relationship with God. And that's how I truly feel. There may be some that might disagree, but in every situation in life, that relationship that supersedes anything I'm going through. So that's really what I wanted to share, and hopefully they would see that.
Yeah, Michelle's book is available through her publisher, Covenant Books. Her book has a web page that you can find out more information. Amazon, where it's loaded with reviews. She's talked about feedback, 5-star reviews on Amazon. It's available there. Barnes and Noble, also available as an ebook through the Kindle app or the Books app on iTunes as well. The good news, Michelle, as we're wrapping up, anything else you want to share with us before we go?
I just encourage everyone to, make their own. Everyone has a story. And I encourage everyone, and I tell people that read the book, start making your own story. And as you continue through life, you can look back and probably read, if you ever journal, look at where you were and where you made it and how you got through. That was what I really learned in publishing this book, because I had to go back and reread everything during the publishing process. And I would sit down sometimes and just choke up. Not, I would be like, how did I got through that? Wow. And I got through this and I got through that. And so I just encourage people to make their own story that way, because sometimes we forget. And sometimes when you're reminded where you were and where you got to be, is very inspiring to continue doing things that might inspire you through life.
Yeah. Well, Michelle, thank you for writing and for sharing your story and for that message of hope. Thank you for taking time to join us today, too.
Yes, thank you so much, Scott, for having me.
Yeah. Have a great day.
You too.